Folks, we got a very special guest on today. We got Mr. Joe Sabatello from the Chicago area, right?
Yes, sir.
Born and raised.
Born and raised.
Yeah. Then went off to the military, right?
Yep.
And tell us a little bit about your military experience.
United States Air Force veteran. I served proudly February of 98 to just about with 9/11 hitting. I was getting close to getting out. It was about my 4 years in. Obviously, none of us knew that was coming, but when it did, I recall and will never forget where I was and what I was doing that day. At the time, with my sortie recalls, I was working mid-shifts for a long time, so which I enjoyed, actually, because if you're able to work a nice 11 at night to 7 in the morning-ish shift, and of course you go home, go to bed, what have you, but you're up about 3, 4 o'clock, you got the day. You miss all the rush hour stuff. You miss all that stuff. Plus, you're off technically Friday morning at 7. So you got a 3-day weekend. Because when my work day started at midnight Sunday, really nobody's working. So I really had a 40 weekend all the time. Plus, we had a gym. Yeah. And I was in school finishing my theater arts degree, studying my lines for plays, multitasking, whatever. But in the morning is when it really, really mattered. At night and in the morning. And the 11 o'clock to about 1 was important because of the sorties were over and we had to make sure everything was straight for the U-2 plane in the morning. But in early mornings, I would get with the general and we would all be at a round table speaking of Langley out there. The ECC Combat Command is in Langley out in the DMV. So Virginia, District of Columbia, of course.
Yep, and DC.
Yeah, DC. And what have you. And Maryland. So I remember when, 9/11 happened, the first tower got hit and all that. For us, it was about 5-ish in the morning, 7:50, 5:50 Pacific time, 7, was that about right? 5:50, so 4:50, 5:50, 8 o'clock. Yeah, just about almost 5 o'clock when the first one hit and then the second one hit, and it's crazy. So yeah, I served, did a couple tours over in the desert pre-war. Post, I had to go to Afghanistan, but I've been all over the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I can go on about that, but yeah, I can tell you how that is intertwined.
Oh, we're definitely gonna get there
because it all ties in. It all ties in. I started becoming a man when I left home. Then, honestly, for me, even though I did college for a couple of years, had my AA degree, went out there a little bit, did college, and like I said, and did some things. I didn't go in right out of high school with the military. I should have probably went OTS and probably would have done a little differently and took advantage of it going officer. I would have got more out of it, but I got a lot out of it, but I got even more out of it of where I wanted to go from there. I just had to work a little harder to get there. I got there. Just had to work a little harder to get there. But I was about 20, almost 22 when I went in. So I was seasoned a bit. I wasn't 18 out of high school and just left mom and dad. I was out there on my own for 4 years, worked.
That's good.
Earned and did things. Even though I started working early in life, which I can get to that. I started working at 15, but all those little attributes that happened leading through high school and then going into college and getting in the Air Force made me way more grounded. And I could tell you war stories all day of people not understanding it, but I was ahead of the curve for that. And I appreciated going in a little later.
Yeah. If I were to do it all over again, I would have done it the same way. Yeah. I went in the SEAL program at 19, but everybody matures at different rates. Everybody's mindset is it grows at different speeds and they're ready for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you had the 18-year-old, 17-year-old sometimes. Yeah,
sometimes they're super mature, ready to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like, they're willy-nilly winging life.
What was cool about it, though, for that kind of dynamic was the basic training because it really started my leadership roles where I knew I can always be a leader, whether I choose to be or not. And I didn't choose to at that time, but all the young bucks came to me and saw my already innate authority, aura and discipline already because of what I've already seen and done with experience. Even at 22, I'm going to have more experience than the 18-year-old, odds on. So they looked up.
When you're that young, that 4-year gap seems like light years.
Yeah, I call it high school years.
Yeah.
You're always gapped in high school years.
100%.
So like George, my best friend, we're gapped in high school years. His brother graduated at the same time I did. Never knew his brother, but he's, 4 years behind me, Wild's, beyond his years, but I call them high school years, those gaps.
Yeah.
Especially if you have siblings where they're coming into Frosh and you're graduating. In those times, you're looking at it like everybody's like, you're so extraordinarily years apart, you think. But it is only 4 years. I used to always call them 5-year gaps. You should learn major lessons every 5 years, or have your goals changed or more in order and more accomplished and more challenging every 5 years. To me, it was always 5-year gaps.
So let's hone in on the juice here, shall we? Because you've come a long way in what, 20 years? What?
24.
Let's let the cat out of the bag, shall we? 24 years
24 and
ago,
counting.
you established what we have here. For those that can't see this, if you want to watch this, go on YouTube. Folks, I've got 21 of the best, hands down. Look, I've been eating chicken wings my whole life, all right? The best chicken wings on the planet. They're going to change the name of the game. And they already are. They already are. There's so much buzz happening. It's catching on like wildfire here in Austin. This man has dedicated his life to perfecting this product. It's incredible. It lights people up. It brings them joy and happiness. We've got Sabalicious Wings. Yes. And Joe here is he's kindly brought some. Thank you so much for doing that. 24 years in the making. Tell us about the first time you decided to whip these up. But as you're talking, I'm just going to go ahead and, while they're hot, I'm going to have to give me a little something.
Yeah, so back to the military days. We were all off base, really. So in the apartment complexes, whatever, we traveled and commuted to base. So in my apartment was the place people mostly came by socially to hang out. And I was in the theater community, as I said. So my theater group or theater, the production, the people within the production would come over, after parties, all that. I was the place. So whether work-wise or theater-wise, I was the place to go to. So yeah, I saw the big sleeves of the wingettes and whatnot, and I like chicken wings, but I never really, to be honest, before I did them myself, it wasn't a conscientious or vivid thing eating a chicken wing. Yes, I eat chicken wings, but whatever, you go wherever at the time. I mean, shoot, what did we have in the 80s and the 90s then? I mean, there was no Wing Stops and Buffalo Wild Wings and all these places.
Nope.
Now that they're
You go to buy
Pluckers, for the people who know that here, the common fried wing, if you will, with every kind of sauce on the earth. What
Now, we're going to touch base upon that a little bit.
Yeah, we will.
You did call it common.
Yeah, common. It's become
fried.
Yeah, fried.
And fried.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to touch.
So wherever, I mean, it wasn't a big thing then. So when I first put them on there, I was a grill man, though. I did do a lot of grilling. So I slapped them on a nice little mini charcoal grill at the time and cooked them for George and a few others. And I just put a few basic common seasons on there, nice little seasoned salt and a few other things, some garlic, a little pepper, maybe a little other concoction, what have you. And they turned out good. I mean, they turned out good. I was like, oh, it was simple. And I used to, and to this day, George still loves when I do the jumbo. They used to do the fat jumbo shrimps. And then I would wrap them in bacon. But I would take the shrimps and I would concoct a lemon pepper sauce, like a marinade. And I'd dip them in the marinade for like 6 hours or something in the fridge. And then I'd slap them on skewers, shred on the grill, and wrap some bacon around them. And those were a hit. So I did that and those for a while. That went on for, I mean, it was, like I said, it was a hit. And between going overseas and doing my tours and all that, it just stayed with me. And I would cook them overseas as long as we had chicken drums, some kind of form of chickens or whatever, basic seasonings. And that's what I did. So I did that from about 99, I'd say, 99 to maybe a good 8 years to a degree. And then I started whipping out sauces. And then I started changing the game with other recipe concoctions with my seasonings.
Yeah.
And on and on and on. And I took a turn over the 2010s and really patented about a good 12, 13 years ago with the infused sauces. And once I had a couple conversations with my family back home, who were all primarily Italian, I started infusing some of the advice and wisdom of their culinary skills and started putting our essence and our family generational touch to it.
I love that.
Yeah. And once I started wrapping that around it, I had to rechange the concoction and the steps. And the key with everything wasn't just let's whip this up and do it. Yeah, let's throw everything into a wall and see what sticks.
No.
That's fine. Let's troubleshoot. Let's do all that. Let's just brain brainstorm and just see what happens. You're not going to lose. They'll be decent so you can eat. There was a lot of that. There was a lot of trials and trips. But to be honest, they all went in the right direction in the sense that every time I did something, I'm not even kidding. It was fate and kismet. It was like, bam, it just, every little step I did was the next step. It all went there. So there was no going backwards. There wasn't 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I'm not even lying that it was 4 steps forward, another 4 steps forward, another 2 steps forward, another 1 step forward, until it actually went Yahtzee.
Yeah.
And I stayed in the Yahtzee kind of area for a good 5-6 years until I made one little switch in my rhythm and how I put some on the back end. Sabalicious Wings was officially patented and born. And I'd say that was around 2013, 2014. And it's been that way ever since. The only thing that's ever changed after that patent is what device I would put the chicken wings on, because I put them on every kind of cooking form you can think of. It started with charcoal briquettes, to a gas grill, to smokers, to brining smokers, to Traegers, to pellets, to wood fire. Anything you can think of, I've done it. Being out there camping on a stick, I've done it all just to see what I can do with it. But when COVID hit our world and we were all stuck in the house, this is where one of many items thrived in COVID, and that was the air fryer. And I threw them in the air fryer, not really reluctly, but kind of, because I thought it was beneath the way of cooking things for me. And but a lot came from that. What that ended up making me do is actually take the advice of my support group, friends, family, and always said, I don't know why you don't, take this public and make it a business. And I knew a lot of reasons why, which we can get into later. But that gave me the confidence. COVID, what I took out of COVID, that gave me the confidence to actually take it seriously and know that I could do this and take it public because of control. I can control the temperatures. I can control the cook. I can control my time. And now I can multitask and take advantage of my time.
Can I say something, real?
Sure.
Yeah. I have this overwhelming sense of guilt because these chicken wings are too good not to share. They're so freaking good. I just ate 6 of them.
Didn't even know it.
In 4 minutes. And I just want to eat all of them. And I feel like they're too good not to have everybody try them. It's insane. I'm not just saying this, all right? Like, I'm not just gassing my buddy up over here. No, these things are freaking off the charts.
You should, in post with our interview, put a cut of the Easter one in your first response.
Oh, yeah.
You should put a little tab of that in to reiterate what you just said to the public, that you're not just blowing smoke, which they know it's not. But
they're so good. It's not fair. It's also not fair that you put 21 of them in front of me because I just got out of the gym. I'm like, oh, my God. Bro.
I'll eat a couple when we're done.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
But so with my time and everything, I started seeing the road to go down as far as I can make this work with volume.
Mm.
Now, how can I make this work with volume? Part 1 was, okay, I found a way to cook, trust it, multitask, can do stuff in between. Okay, great. How can I do this in volume? How can we maximize this? Is there a reason why this hasn't been built before? And I don't want to go down a bunch of avenues here. I want to keep me on point if I do, on track. But this is the cornerstone of who I am and has always been the bond that's kept me together in this world half my life, and friends and others and strangers into friends and customers into friends or whatever and alike. And I'm proud of that. That's a representation of me. But for a business and to take it seriously, my goal was, kind of like the famous saying, this is a part of me. I want to make it a part of you. You're just not eating. It ain't just a chicken wing. It's an umami experience on a bone, but it's for you to explain or take that journey. Case in point, we can, like, trip to the desert when I went to war or whatever. You could tell everybody to a T. You can describe your experience anywhere you go. You're still going to have to walk those steps and take it in yourself. Yeah, Greg told me this, and it's dead on, but he can't tell me the feeling. He can't describe that feeling, or you can't feel that feeling or interpret it that way and how it goes to the brain and your feeling and how you absorb it. Same with this. Everyone absorbs it differently. Yes, the same, but differently. And I still, after 1 million people have tried them, will get something unique as far as a testimonial. We'll get some kind of criticism, feedback that gets me. And when it does, in those moments, that's when I sit down and go, ooh, yeah, let's talk about that, because that is interesting. And sometimes I've gone off that and changed a little things or piggybacked off that. One guy, for example, out here in Austin is a Creole. He's a master Creole chef. And he thought I had a Creole base in there.
Here.
Started breaking it down.
Master Creole chef?
Kind of, yeah. He does. He makes his own homing gumbo over 25 years.
Yeah.
And
Master.
Yeah, gumbo and jambalaya and a few other things. Well, I met him through the NIL group, the military NIL group that Ernesto kind of introduced me to some of the guys, Rick McClure and those guys. And so in meeting them and going to some of these greets, and I brought my wings and what have you, I met, I told you about him, Renee, who works for Keller Williams. Renee, and I can't remember his last name, but we'll go over that. And I think you know him because he's in the Keller Williams family. For work, but he's a Creole chef. And he thought I was using a bunch of Cajun and Rouge spices and all that. I'm like, that's very interesting. And I didn't want to give away some of my stuff, but I was like, I like that. I like that feedback. No one's ever really gone there. And huge in the Asian community with my infused secret sauces that go on the 22-season dry rub. 22-season dry rub. Those secret sauces infuse on that wing. That's my brine process. That's how I bond that together.
There's 22 seasoning?
22 seasoning recipe that is going to be on my rub that I'm trying to launch here by year's end, early 2025.
Oh, my God.
My Sabalicious rub. I'm taking pre-orders right now, actually.
So let's take a second to focus on the principle of consistency, okay? Here we are. It's not just me saying this, by the way. It's everybody that I've encountered that has tried these wings. It is an umami experience, okay? It's not your average run-of-the-mill chicken wing. It's amazing, dude. Like, I could eat the whole plate easy, okay? It took you 24 years to get there. And when I noticed when you were sharing your process, you mixed, you matched, you added your family's touch to it, right? And you got this inspiration as you're traveling the world. The thing is, you just kept going. And then ultimately you landed yourself in the environment to launch this, okay? So the first thing is consistency, and then the second thing is the environment. So let's talk a little bit about why you chose Austin, Texas, out of all places, to set the world on fire with your chicken wings.
So I can answer that a few ways. And if you bear with me, few ways. There's faith ways to look at it, kismet and faith ways. There's staying the course, you could say. There's being having a history of traveling and moving around from place to place and predominantly being all over the world by choice and sometimes not by choice. But this isn't my first rodeo, no pun intended, Texas. It took 24 years, ironically, when I started cooking these wings. A few months before I started cooking them, I started in Texas. Basic training in tech school, San Antonio. So in 1998, most of 1998, I was here in the Lone Star State. And then I got stationed in my first base out in California, for which I stayed the whole time in California. But I want to say between that 98 trajectory and time in Texas and getting out to California, we're talking maybe months before the Genesis process started. So ironically, coming back here was never, not really a revelation or like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm back in Texas. It popped in my brain here and there, but my very, very best friend moved here first. But our common friend moved before George moved, and that got his eyebrow to open and look at the idea, which got mine to look at the idea. And once he committed, I started taking it really seriously. But you said something before the process of landing in Austin, Texas, that was very important. No matter what trials or tribulations or life or what was thrown at me, that was always a smile in the right direction. That was always lemons out of lemonade. That was always the constant. That was always the constant perfection. If there's anything perfection in anybody's life, I'll speak for mine. That's my perfection.
100%.
And nothing for nothing. That's the representation of hard work, consistency, staying the course, evolutionizing, using your ideas and your artistry and everything you bring to the table. I'm an artist at the heart of it, musically, art. I'm a professional actor, so my being, I'm an artist. This is a work of art for me.
Yeah.
It just happened to be slapped on a beautiful drumette and drum with a bone on it. But that 22 season dry rub, this was the start. That 22 season dry rub then ended up bringing me into a world where I could put it on all sources of foods. Almost every source of food out there that you can think of, with a couple exceptions, but every source of food, it works. It's been tested.
That's right.
It's been. I've given the samples out. It's been tested.
You put it on breasts, don't you?
You can put it on everything. Put it on chicken on a bone, chicken breasts, vegetables if you're vegetarian. A lot of vegetarians love my
vegetables.
Seasonings. Yeah, saute them on a grill, saute them in a pan, fry them. They'll soak right in. Pork ribs, beef ribs, boneless pork chops. I can make street tacos out of them. Shredded pork, shredded chicken, steaks, hamburgers, high-end burgers, wagyu, anything you can think of.
So
shrimp for skewers.
So Joe, it's apparent that you've got yourself a revolutionary product, okay? Let's say, for example, everybody's driving the same car that goes 20 miles an hour. All of a sudden, this guy comes along, and then he makes a car that goes 50 miles an hour, okay? Well, what are you going to do with all that power? What are you going to do with all that reach, that exposure, that influence in the culinary community?
Well, that's the key that you said that, because I do actually have a lightning in the bottle here, which is well earned. I got a beautiful product that expands to other products we can get into. But that is my objective, and my main goal right now is to spread it to the people. And you just said that. How do you do that? I'm learning every day how to do that. This is the part of the challenges now that I've spent the 24 years making this. Imagine the 24 next years of making my business grow.
Right.
Of making me be number one.
Yeah.
Here, and not only Austin, the nation.
Yeah. And this has everything, all the characteristics of being number one. There's no doubt about it. Add that, the product, with your work ethic, your connectability, your drive. It's only a matter of time, right? Now, let's get down to brass tacks, though. What is the why? Why do this? Why work so hard? Why try to get a chicken wing in everybody's mouth? What's the message here?
Well, the initial why, as I said earlier, this is a part of me, I want to make it a part of you, goes in a lot of directions. But really, in a short answer, I'm proud of these.
Yeah.
I'm proud of me in these.
Right.
And the joy and the experience I see physically and verbally from said customer times a trillion is why I do it.
So more customers, more joy.
Yeah. And I mean, I can't speak for anybody, and I don't know how this is going to come off, and I don't want to jinx myself, but I have 1,000% ratio. 24 years. Yeah. From the toughest critic to a Michelin chef to a person who hasn't eaten a meal in 15 days.
I heard that. A Michelin chef.
A couple, actually.
A couple of them gave Joe praise on this chicken wing. Yeah. If that doesn't say something, I mean, that's amazing.
One of them guessed 85% of the seasonings. But can figure it out.
That's almost like a sommelier. This is a 1955 Bordeaux.
Kind of.
These grapes.
Kind of.
That's something.
Kind of. And could understand the trajectory and the steps of how, but what they really revered in me is they knew supply-wise how I took care of the product, how I massage them, how I pre-prep them. They can understand the delicacy and the fine detail of why. Where they were amazed is my choices with no culinary really serious background. I didn't go to culinary school. I mean, I may be an artist, but that's one path I did not take. I didn't go to school for that discipline.
Well, look, Thomas Edison.
I didn't officially go to culinary school.
And ladies didn't go to school.
But the process of these wings that became what they became was Michelin star level because of not only the seasoning, the order of the seasoning, when to put them on, how I put them on, the process of putting them on, then the cook, then the post prep, then the secret sauce.
So let's talk about the contrast here for a second. This is the way I imagine it.
Sorry to interrupt you though, but
no.
Another reason for all this, when I was saying volume, it wasn't possible, because you don't whip these up, you don't fry them. They're not for volume. They're not made to make 15,000 in 5 minutes and slap them in someone's mouth and put 5 cents a wing of effort into it and charge $15 a wing to somebody. No, these belong in Rodeo Drive. These belong on the penthouse tower restaurant of a high-end New York joint. This should be on a 6-star menu. That's the goal. So I treat it as such. We are who? We are elite. We are Austin Elite. Now we're Elite International. This is a representation of a menu item on your menu, is it not? Yeah. This would be one of the main appetizers or the main attractions to come to. That's one of my goals. Sorry to segue from that. And I wanted to get that off my chest.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I mean by changing the name of the game. You're making waves in this industry. You're changing people's perception of what this product can be. There's no doubt about that, which is super fired up.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
So that was really one of the main hesitants, if you will. How do I produce these in volume? Is it possible? Because I know what it takes to make them. No one does. I do. A couple people. But I do. I know. So, but I figured that out. And a little help with COVID. That's one of the things I got out of COVID, to make a hard time in history better for thyself.
Yeah.
I took something that I've already worked at that time almost 20 years on, and just, like most actors, most A-list actors, they all grinded for 20 years. It's called the 20-year threshold. Anybody that you see that made it, usually it took them 18 to 20 years to get that huge break. But you go back and all of a sudden you notice them now because they're famous. All of a sudden you go back and watch 20 years of stuff. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's usually the theory. He was in that, she was in that. Oh my God, she starred in that. That was your first role? 20 years. So I did 20 years in said case.
Yep.
Where when COVID, again, definition of luck is what? Preparation meeting opportunity.
I like that. Yeah.
And so my preparation met that opportunity. And I stuck it in said air fryer, and then the bulb went off and said, how can we custom make these things? Now, that's where I'm at today. I'm literally working on all the business aspects, as I told you.
Yeah.
And one of many, besides getting out there and getting the name out there, which I'm not worried about, because I know, thankfully for me, 1 chicken wing, 2 chicken wing, 3 chicken wing, ding, ding, ding. I got you. I got you. Yeah, and with the seasoning and scaling that off, it's just going to make things even better. And selling the seasonings. But I want to eventually custom make my machines and patent machines. I can possibly sell machines.
Yeah.
Be like Joey Sab. Be like Mr. Sabalicious. Holy cow, this guy's making 300, 400, 500 in scale, right, in one time. Imagine making now 500 in a half hour. 1,000 in a half hour, but it creates power. So I have to get with my engineers in the restaurant business, which I'm making. I have a very important meeting in the domain next week with a fine gentleman I met through networking, who can possibly open a door for me to get into said engineers to make this happen. And if that happens, we're having another conversation, my friend Greg, here in the coming weeks, months.
Let's bring it back just for a second here. I want to contrast your product with the stereotypical chicken wing, okay? The way I foresee it happening is they rip a bag open of these frozen wings, they put it in the fryer, and then they take it out of the fryer, wash it around in some sauce, and then serve it. Your product,
more or less,
is the exact opposite of that.
If I could, I wouldn't have them in the same hemisphere.
They're not. They're not.
What do you share? A bone. We share a bone in common.
That's it. And you taste it.
It's technically a chicken. We share a chicken and a bone in common.
It's like this studio.
I want to be emancipated from that.
It smells heavenly in here. The smell is amazing. The texture, everything. There's not a bad part on the wing. It's like, dude, it's solid gold. Every ounce of that is solid gold. Okay? So basically what we want to do, because there's people that are going to be listening to this or watching this, and they're going to say, holy crap, how do I get these?
Yeah.
Right?
But do you want to talk any more about the fry process, or we already know that explained? The big difference between all those guys, B-dubs, pluckers, and all them, is they can push in volume. And it's not like it's bad food, But, you know, you got your booze, you got your TVs, you got your sports, and it's like sort of the aftermath. No, my stuff goes right to the front. Once you go through me, it's dead air behind it because you don't need anything else. You're floating. Once you got my stuff, you made it to the promised land. So when you're there, you made it there. You're there. That's all you came there for. Why did I come here? Sabalicious. Why am I going to Austin? Sabalicious. I'm sure you can name a few reasons why people come to Austin. I want to be one of them.
Yeah.
And then soon it's going to be over and over. Number one in Texas. Number one in X. But right now, why do you go to Austin? Oh, NADC or, oh, you can name more. You've lived here a lot longer than me. But I want people to fly in a freaking plane and go, I go to Austin, or get off and touch ground. Give me some Sabalicious first before I touch over here. I'm literally got a changeover for a couple hours. I'm getting Sabalicious, or I got a Sabalicious stand in the airport, or wherever it goes. But I want to change the world in so many ways that you're going out of your way for Sabalicious. That one word becomes it. And it's going to spread into, as I mentioned earlier before this awesome podcast, was my clothing line. We can get into that later, and other ideas I have. But this has opened the door of how you asked me the one important question, how I'm going to change the world. I can go off for an hour on how I'm going to change the world with that. And the other skill sets I'm going to bring into it, and my artistry and what that's going to bring into it. And I mentioned to you, I'm finishing
one thing at a
official
time.
brand thing.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. But I can go on and on and on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's pick off where we left.
Are we here for the chicken wings or all other things?
Who knows? I don't know anymore.
You got me going.
Yeah. Don't cross that over here. It's great.
You got me going.
So, all right.
But you mentioned,
reel it in.
Yeah, sorry. But dial me back in, brother. Bring me back to earth.
Yeah. All right. So how do people, if they wanted to, like, they're going to listen to this podcast.
Yes, that's what you're
And they're going to say, I want these chicken wings now. I want them for my next party. I want them this weekend. Dude, people are going to call you up after listening to this. It's going to happen. So how do they do
your
it?
mouth to God's ears.
How do they do it?
Yeah. So the most quick way right now is my Instagram page is Sabalicious Wings ATX. You can reach me directly, DM me from there. But I do on there currently right now permanently through my highlights, because it was in stories. Through my highlights, I have both my order log QR and my seasoning log QR. The first 50 that come in, you get a prize. You get a free prize. First 50 that go on that list. But you can order on that log. It goes straight to me in real time. It's very self-explanatory. It's a simple way to reach me right now. But I'm not hard to find. I am a one-man band. But you can, through DM, hit me up, tell me your needs, and I personally will go through it. Not my first rodeo. Very fast, and help you along the way to get you the best needs for the best party, personal, event, whatever order you got going on. It's not hard to reach me.
Yeah.
I can give you my personal number within that context if you need it. If you take Venmo, Zelly, we can get this done in seconds. It's not hard. I travel all around the Travis County predominant region. Within reason, 48 hours to 24 hours, 48 hours or so. Let me know and I'll make it happen. 500 wings, 50 wings to 500 wings, I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best direct way in the Austin area.
So let's get back to the evolution now. Thank you for sharing that, by the way, because you're going to get some calls. Let's talk about the evolution. First, it's the wing. Second, it's the seasoning. Third, what's third?
The sauce.
The sauce.
The sauce.
And then
now it's the apparatus, the machine.
the machine.
Now it's the machine.
All right, cool. Now bear with me now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to dive in a little bit of the machine. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the machine. Okay, because this is huge, right? We get. You make the sauce, you put it in a bottle, and you sell it, right? It's delicious, but everybody can get their hands on it and put it wherever they want. That's super convenient.
Haven't put the sauce together. Seasoning.
Well, yeah, in due time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, seasoning too.
Seasoning.
Well, yeah, when it comes to the machine now, is it going to be a consumer product?
We'll see. It could. It's very possible, especially if I can make it in a volume, mass quantity sense. It could.
Okay.
It could go from a personal buy into your typical Amazon / wholesale retail situation to restaurateur level.
I got you.
Because the point of it is this: a lot of products can be made through this said system, not just wings, especially with the bone, because bone is very particular. If you know or don't know with bone or boneless, you're safer cooking a bone, but you're not. And why I say that is because you undercook a bone and you get sick. You don't treat a bone-in product well, it goes bad. It's a quicker shelf life. You got to be very delicate with bone. People don't like messing with chicken, bone-in chicken. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Bone-in, you can mess up the cook quickly. It's like oysters. It's like searing scallops. You got to cook scallops a certain way. Get them right to the point. Don't want to overcook your boneless chicken breast. Don't want to undercook it. It's either rubbery or now it's too rough and too chewy and too, whatever. So it's a fine line with that. With a bone, though, what I like is because when you do it right in the beginning and you have it now controlled, I know exactly how long it takes to get that juicy tenderness that you always experience from the skin all the way down to the core of that's bone origin. And I've revolutionized it where it can travel up to 4 hours. And yeah, it might get a little bit room temp, but you've been there. You've done that. You complaining? You complaining?
No.
Yeah.
No.
How about Joe's Dale wings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
9.8
out of 10.
Yeah.
And that's all part of it. So it can travel. So it can sit. So it could stand the test of time. When you go back to the frying and all that stuff, what happens when you get a fry wing and you go, I'm going to take these to
trash.
I'm going to take these to go. Hey, you're never going to be the same.
No.
Yeah. You could maybe air fry them a little bit.
So my point bringing this up is the fact that your wings are so custom, so special, so different that you're literally in the process of creating a custom freaking machine.
I am.
To make these things.
Not there yet, but it's up here.
Like how
we got to make it
sick is
happen.
that,
We got to
right?
make it happen.
It's like, okay, how can you cook a steak? There's like 15 different ways to cook a steak.
Yeah, I took the evolution of the air fryer, and now I want it on steroids, but there's still a couple of steps beyond that has to come to its fruition. We need the power source to make it work. And we need the recoil heater coil system. I have to have the searing system correctly up top, said air fryer aesthetic, but now I need my searing system at the bottom. So I don't have to rotate them.
Yeah.
I don't have to take the time out to rotate them, flip them. They're already getting seared on both ends, which now cuts my time down 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I can do them in volume.
That's good.
So if that happens, now I can cook 200, 300, 400 wings at a time. And I'm not stopping every 15, 16, 17 minutes to flip them and then do another 16, 17 minutes. Because that 16 minutes pre could take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes in the middle from flip to post. What do you think I could do for 10 minutes times 5, times 10, times 20, times 100 orders? I got all that time to do that much more.
Right.
Got to get away from that.
And then
got to get away from the physical flip to a self-post flip or double sear.
And think about all the people in the restaurant industry that once you go ahead and spearhead this and you patent this process, they're going to be calling you saying, hey, we need something like this in our kitchens. Ring, ring. So yeah, to your point, you're getting into the product industry or the hardware industry.
Yeah, so like an air fryer in your home.
Yeah.
Be a Mr. Sabalicious in your home. A Mr. Sabalicious in a restaurant. To manufacture, to sell, to buy on Amazon, to buy at a Best Buy or a Target or sell it. Yeah, it could possibly happen. You can put Mr. Sabalicious right on that sucker.
And the reason the story I'm trying to tell here, the picture I'm trying to paint with all of this is that what we're seeing is that Joe's got momentum here, okay? And we don't know, you don't know. Entrepreneur, business owners don't know where that momentum is going to take us. It's all about simply keeping that momentum, riding that wave. If the wave dies, boom, you hop on another one. It's all about speed, fail forward, fail fast, go for it, make the connections, go on the appointments, do the thing, right? Something's going to stick.
Yeah.
Right?
Again, I'm blessed to have a product that I've done the work on for 24 years, but I've also been in sales for over a decade. I've been out there networking in my acting career. I brought all these things to the table here. So as I said, I might have a 4 or 5 year curve on these cadets who came into the Air Force at the time. Now maybe in business, I got a 15-year step on the people trying to do the same thing I'm doing here in Austin, but yet I'm not well-rounded yet. I'm still working on all the business aspects, social media, e-commerce, marketing, all of those things that I don't know. Technology, AI. I'm taking on all that actually now. 80-20 to my business. Oh, I got an order? Let me stop what I'm doing because this is what my business is about. What's that? What's that all about, Greg? I got an order. I'm too busy doing all the other stuff with business. That's what I'm doing now. So yeah. I'm 80-20 with the business. This isn't formality to me. This is like, robot. Oh, I got orders today. But, which is why I'm in this. And, I'm got all my bottles ready to go out the door. That's great. It's, it's going to take care of me. But to always move forward, as you said, is thriving and always growing every day. I'd love to be able to do every single thing that is their business if I could possibly do it. It's not reality. I will delegate eventually, but I'll be proud to delegate then because, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'll know and trust he or she's doing what I'm asking them to do. And so if anything comes awry or comes across me, I will see it instead of trust. Oh, you take care of it. No, I need to learn. And it's frustrating and it's a lot. And there's hard days. There's hard weeks.
So what principles have carried you through? Because we were talking right before we started recording, and you're saying you're having some, you get these wafts of bad smelling air. And you're like, what is this? What am I doing?
Kick to the gut.
Exactly. So what kind of principles do you stick by, or what mantras roll through your head that maybe a mentor has told you, or your parents have said it growing up, that keeps you going?
I mean, it's been heard. It's no revelation. Control the things you can control. That's me. I have a lot of anxiety. I'm a control freak. I'm OCD by nature, but not literally OCD clinically, but I'm very organized. So going into the military was like, amping it up on overdrive. It was like it was meant for me. It's like I already had that skill set. So let's have that skill set on steroids. I'm already disciplined when I went into the military. I'm already these things. It just made me a doctorate in those things. So, but I don't have a doctorate on life. I don't have a doctorate on people's choices and how people think and what people make their decisions upon. I can't control that. I'd love to control that, but it's not possible. So whatever you can control, which, again, having 1,000% ratio on my wings is a testament to my commitment and what I bring to the table and all those attributes I bring to the table. Not to say that it won't ever happen, but those are the things that I strive for every day, is reminding myself every hour, every day when I do get kicked in the gut, what did I miss in this? And it just always comes down to this thing that's bothering you, or this thing that kicked you in the gut, or this thing that did this to you, is stuff I can't control. I can go to sleep at night knowing that it wasn't me that missed that, or I didn't do that.
Yeah.
It's he, she, that, it, or what, or life had the power. I can't stop that from happening. I'd love to, but I can't. And I'm still working on that every day I breathe air.
Yeah, the old adage, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game, and you're focused on simply playing your best game.
But I'm proud of that. I'm proud to, that day that I rest, I'm proud to know that I put in every day that work, or put in those attributes or that mindset. You might not do it, but I'm going to do it. I just have to adjust the fact that you don't do it, or adjust the fact that your bar is where it's at. My bar is where it's at. I don't need to name where my bar is. But your bar might be different. People will be like saying, I'm setting a bar. Well, I am the bar. And with this, in this industry, you want me to take over the world? I am the bar here. You're all below the bar. And I'll take the Pepsi challenge to anybody that tries to put some kind of artistry on a drum or flat with a bone. I'll take you to school, my friend.
As he's wearing his...
I'm proud of that, though.
Michael Jordan sneakers. He's going to school y'all.
School you out.
Courts, wash out.
Joey freaking said.
That's right.
Joey
Chicago.
But I'm proud of that. But I put the work in for that. And one I won't name names here, and you were there, had a wonderful outdoor barbecue experience at said place with that restaurateur. And when we got to speak to that certain person at the end, and he was done with the work and could be him after the advice was over and all the tough love, and I was kind of, I was being auditioned. I know that, but it was my first rodeo. So I brought me to the table. This was, and that's all I can do. And I killed it. But the conversations I have with him then after, and it was just that person, the human being, and Joe, the human being, talking about something we have passion for. He spent the 15 minutes about me, the person, what I brought to the table. And that's why that is the best. And you should be very proud of it. And don't feel guilty that you're confident or a little egotistical about it or come off that way. Be proud of that because you put the work in to be proud of that. And that represents all the stuff you've done. I mean, there's being ridiculous about it, but I'm humble, very humble. But you want to take a Pepsi challenge with me, dude, I'll take a nap right here. And I know I'm going to win that contest because it's a different ball game. You're over there and I'm over here. You're in the chicken wing business. I don't say I'm in the chicken wing business. I'm in the umami experience business. I'm in sending you off into a journey business. I'm into you saying that's Sabalicious business. I'm into you coming here to Austin to see me see that because it's the only one in existence business. And I'm going to take that business and put it in a bunch of different departments. We haven't even touched upon little mini me Sabalicious that's coming to life.
Okay, leave a little something for a surprise. How are you going to give back once you profit your first 10 mil?
How am I give? Oh, you just took a turn on that one. Wow.
Zap.
You just threw that at me like a rock.
Had to.
Wow. Honestly, since you threw that at me, I've always had a soft spot for the. No, I mean,
I'd come up with one.
No, I mean,
yeah.
As far as philanthropy goes, to me, my soft spot's always been the Down syndrome world. I don't really want to get into it right now, if that's okay.
Yeah.
But it just has a spot for me. There's things I don't want to get into why, but I would, prostate cancer and the Down syndrome's community is where I'd philanthropy my money.
Yeah.
To start.
Yeah.
To start.
It'd be really
Those
cool.
are personal things for me.
I could see you doing a really cool benefit event, man. Everybody's eating your chicken wings. You're raising money.
Special Olympics.
Right. Yeah. Super cool.
Absolutely.
Sponsoring Special Olympics, dude. Going out there, serving up.
I'm an athlete. I love sports. I love the Special Olympics. I love that. That's got a place in my heart.
Yeah.
Down syndrome community. And again, I'm not going to get into that. And then prostate cancer goes a long way with me.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's really good because we're all about completing the circle, right? It's not all about us, right? I mean, obviously, yes, you are. It's a reciprocal relationship when you give somebody the food, they pay for your stuff. That's reciprocity. When you give back, it's strictly about the other person, right? And that's how we complete the circle of life.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
When I give back, you work, you make it to the top, and now you're at the top. What do? You help others.
Well, I mean, honestly, I professionally started in April of this year.
Yeah.
In Austin.
Yeah.
And in the 5 minutes I've been here, I've made tons of strides because of what I brought to the table before I officially started.
Yes.
But my point about that is I've been a philanthropist as far as my wing goes for 23 and a half years. I never charged people for these. So I've been giving the love for 23 and a half years.
Yeah.
Now I'm taking some back.
We'll give them back. It's not always about the money, right? Time.
No, but like you said, I've been given the love, and I put smiles on people's faces, and it makes me smile. So going back into philanthropy, the blood, sweat, and tears of making 500 wings for a big party, and they're gone in 30 minutes, if that. Mm-hmm. And I've prepped in the days of trials and tribulations for 4.5 hours with people helping me, and saw the wings were gone in 20 minutes. I almost took a bitter pill about that, but then I stepped back and went, well, that's just Sabalicious, baby, that they're gone that fast for my hard work, And
look at this testament, right? Okay, for some odd reason, I have no idea why or how, but we're surrounded by models, okay, here in Austin. I don't know, like, I go to my one buddy's party, and then there's models there, and they're taking pictures with my buddy's products, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, anyways, it's never been a part of my life here in Austin. They're there, all right?
Yeah.
And they're wearing bikinis, and then what I think is just so fun is that these bikini models, you won't ever see them eat just one. They're going back. And, they got to watch their figure.
Did you see the guilt?
It's great.
It's always on their face. Like it's guilty. And then they all go in their own way. Forget this noise. And I'm eat them. Yeah. And we can get into why that is if we got time. But you're absolutely right. It's huge in the female community, if you will. The female genre, however you want to put it.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Females love them. Even more sometimes than the traditional men.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't believe it.
That are super health conscious, super fit conscious,
completely.
Right? Never see them eat just one because they're that good. And then here's a little surprise we're going to talk about, right? They're not unhealthy.
Right. I can break that down for you.
Give us a breakdown.
That's it. Yeah.
Give us a breakdown.
So when I get those conversations by said model or said fit female and what have you, and or organic to the core said female, which I've bumped into professionally or just by choice. And I broke it down. Non-fried, we've already covered that. Don't even touch fry or oils. Absolutely none. They're massaged, dried, chilled a certain way. Not a single oil goes on them.
That's huge.
One.
Huge.
One. Doesn't touch one. One. And with my searing system, literally God's creation and man's creation come together to make this cook process happen, to be honest. There's not even fire involved now. All my seasonings, organic, GMO, gluten-free. Secret sauces, all but one, but still working on that change, and that's only for preference. That's not because it's not doable. It's a algorithm thing. Just takes the essence off a Tish, and I haven't blended it in yet. But that said product is fine. It's formality.
Okay.
It's fine. It's still GMO free, gluten free.
So
technically not organic.
So the health conscious folks out there, okay, you can check the box on Sabalicious Wings. Now, Joe,
but that was proven, like you said.
Yeah.
So said women eat about 10 or whatever. Tell me later, dude. I took them home and ate them. Happened this morning.
Yeah.
A customer of mine from last night. God bless her. She hit me up this morning with a nice picture and said, "My breakfast this morning, one of the most conscious, fit, you can, whatever."
Yeah.
And does not feel guilty. And she said, "You're absolutely right, Joe. I ate X amount.
Yeah.
No bloat, no nothing. Rock star. I just want to eat more." I just want to eat more. It's like, and I'm like this. Told you. But yes, our rock star homeboys and whatnot, like Greg here will, if you were on a camera, polish this off. No problem. You'll polish it off.
No,
of course.
Problem.
Of course. And you're fit, and Jake and these guys are all fit, and they have no problem eating 30 of my wings. They wish they can just go to a box and there's more. Do you just have a box all around so I can just get Sabalicious Wings like now?
Yeah.
So, and we'll make that happen. But very and I've been conscientious on all that. Now, I didn't start that way, but I never fried them. That is 100% fact.
Yeah.
Never been fried. Unless I put them and tossed them on the old school stovetop and did them for me. And I'll be honest with you, if we were to go into that world and I did use any oils, they would all be organic as well. But they can be done. And the interesting about that with and I've made a homemade powder and a batter, and I've done them. And the difference in that creation, it's way more of a harder process, by the way. It's not fun, but you go through the batter, crack that batter, and then what it does now is that essence that you've ridden on the Sabalicious train hits you in the back of the throat. Then once it mixes with the batter and everything Sabalicious, it's like having a quadruple fudge laced chocolate chip cookie. Can you get enough chocolate? I think you can. That's what you get when I fry them, but I choose not to.
Right.
But it is an experience.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful one.
Bro.
But it's a lot.
Maybe on Christmas Day we'll try a fry.
Yeah, and I do have a Thanksgiving / Christmas wing too, maple syrup infused.
Stop.
Yeah, I only make them twice a year.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I bake those. I bake those for a reason.
Call me Jimmy.
Yeah, I'll show you those. They're my winterlicious wings. My winterlicious Sabalicious. So
Joe,
but there's a lot of things I can do. All seriousness.
100 years from now, your family's listening to this podcast, right? They want to get to know you a little better.
Oof.
What's something you want to say to them?
100 years from now. If nothing for nothing, stay the course. If there's nothing more true in life, life is hard, and then you die. But what you can do is really focus on what you can control. People don't really understand that. I can't put a number for me. I'm not going to tell you my age, but it's taken a lot of years to really, I've heard it, but really accept it. And I'm still working on it every day. Because as humans, we're very complex creatures. Otherwise, we would be all just robots. But stay the course. All you can do is stay in control of what you can control and bring your best effort every day. Is it possible every day? No, we all have days we just can't do it. It's just reality. But in those moments that you know you can do it and you do it to your best ability, and this is speaking for me, when I'm in my greatest realms of a day, I work the amount of 5 times the man in a 10-hour day. That's just me. And that can go a few days in a row. That can go a week in a row. When I was younger, that can go a month in a row. I could ride when I was younger, But now when you get a little older, like that seasoned 20-year veteran in baseball pitching, well, I don't got that 98 cheese anymore. I'm going to get you with that off speed and that curve cheese now. I'm going to manipulate the game now. I'm going to beat you with my mind and mechanics, not my mechanics.
Wisdom.
Yeah, I'm going to let my wisdom do the talking here and read the situation more. And that's what I do. On those days I got that juice and I got that little bit of that 98 left, I'll ride that wave for that 5-10 hours. I'll do it. But it just can't. I just can't do that every day, all the time now. So I would say, ride the course, stay the course, bring your best attributes to that. Always keep learning, even though it sucks, even though it's hard at times, and it does. But the success woman, the success male, in anything they do, is staying the course, staying the course, staying the course, staying the course, staying the course. Especially when it is tough, especially when there is pain. I would live with pain all the time with my military situations and wartime. I live with pain all the time. The older you get, the more pain you get. But I went out there and played pickleball for 4 hours yesterday. I grinded because it's fun, because it makes me feel good. And I like to do it even more, lift weights and do all that stuff. Yeah. But I don't waste time anymore like I used to. I don't waste time. I look at time now where how can I make X in this amount of time? Whether that's business partners, money business partners, clients, making Sabalicious bigger, one chunk at a time, one wing at a time, as we say, making life better one wing at a time. That's what I would say. And try to enjoy as much as you can with that. Some of the best wisdom I actually did hear is you should enjoy the pain. You should enjoy the suffering, because life is suffering and pain. Life is suffering and pain. If you could turn that life of suffering and pain into joy, as morbid as that sounds, I enjoyed that pain. I enjoyed that suffering. I enjoyed that adversity. I enjoyed, what you put me through. You can't be beat until the last breath is out of your breath, and who knows afterwards what happens. You can't be beat on this earth if you always smile or laugh in the face of adversity and negativity and people taking you down, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm still working on, those little gut punches and what did I bring to the table? What did I miss? Most of the time now it's usually stuff I couldn't control, and I can live with that. It's just how do I handle that situation again when said situation comes up, so that I know that X, a part I can't control, I'm prepared for it. That's what I could say.
Well said. Folks, hit up Joey Sabalicious. Go to his Instagram, place an order if you're in the greater Austin area. Do it now. You won't be disappointed. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your perspective on this delicious product that everybody knows and loves. It's going to elevate the game. You're never going to want to go back to anything else. I'm your host, Greg Carlson. Make sure to hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe, please. Thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all. Joey Sabalicious. I got a chicken wing on my hand.
Oh, that's right, you do.
Okay. Thanks for hopping on.
I got. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you too, brother. Love you.
Stay.
Appreciate it.
Ciao for now.
Coming for you, Austin.
Let's go.